The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it's Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for weekly purchases, that time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, UPS, United States Postal Service, Amazon, FedEx, and of course that old outlaw Waylon Jennings. And we also talk about the toy news of the week that interested me and it probably interests you as well. We wrap it all into a big ball and we call it weekly purchases. So quite the week on the channel. I've been on the road all week. I'm filming weekly purchases a little bit earlier this week. I got a big thing at my kids' school. They got their field day and they're going to do, I'm sure, the shot put and the long jump and the 50-yard dash and the 100-yard dash, all that kind of stuff. But I get to watch Emma in the morning, Elle in the afternoon. So I'm going to be handling a whole field day. So I said, I better film weekly purchases a little bit early. So if we miss something that happened on Friday, we'll circle back. We'll talk about it eventually. I'm sure we will. But wanted to do weekly purchases while I had a chance, as we've never missed one. And it's going to be a very busy weekend for me. And it's always busy anymore. It's busy on the channel. It's busy everywhere. It's a busy life. What do you do? And I guess just be thankful you're busy. Maybe that's what I should do. And that's exactly what I do. So there you go. But let's recap the week that was on the channel. A lot going on. And the first thing I should thank everybody out there that's been subscribing to the channel. 16,000 subscribers. We hit that milestone, and of course, every 1,000 subscribers, we do a special top 10 on the channel. This week, voted by the Patreon members, the top tier Patreon members helped me decide what we're going to do as a top 10, and they have spoken. We are going to do the Rey Mysterio top 10, so I'm going to work on that. Hopefully this weekend, have that for next Thursday for everybody, so stay tuned. Or much, much earlier if you're a Patreon member. Shout out to the Patreon members. Of course, link in the description below. Sign up there. 3 different tiers, as you guys are probably fully aware at this point. Big time giveaways on there, early content, early bonus videos, and a lot of good bonus videos, bonus content this weekend if you're a Patreon member, so look out for that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's recap some of the videos we did on the channel this week, and probably my favorite Power Ranger Lightning Collection figure of all time, Piranha's head. I really enjoyed this figure. I liked it way more than I thought I would. Check that review out, because that might be an awesome one to put with your Marvel Legends or other toy lines. It's that good of a figure. Really did like that one. We also did a little Ninja Turtle Power Ranger Lightning Collection. The Turtles Power Ranger crossover. Did our first video. Got quite a few videos to come with those, so stay tuned on the channel. But we did take a look at the first 2. It was, what was it, Leonardo and Donatello. And the rest will be up and already are up on the Patreon. So if you're interested in those, check those out early on Patreon. We also did the top 5 this week. Top 10 coming Rey Mysterio. Top 5 this week. We did top 5 Mattel Elite packaging designs of all time, at least as of right now. You know, we're getting closer and closer to Mattel Elite Series 100. I said, let's take a look back at all the network spotlights and the Elite lines, the Hall of Fame, Hall of Champions, all that kind of fun stuff. Took a look at those, ranked my top 5 packaging designs in the Mattel Elite line. Give me your list in that video, as I always do say. So we did that. This was the week of the Ultimate Edition, Super 7 Ultimate Editions, as we unboxed a ton of Thundercats. We did one starting on Sunday every single day. We still got days to go. I think Sunday, tomorrow, if you're watching this as it drops on Saturday, will be our last Thundercats video. But 8 Thundercat figures all at once, Super 7 Ultimates. Pretty cool, and we got more Thundercats talk in the news coming up here, so stay tuned for that. We also did top 10 Jakks Classic Superstars 2-packs most wanted. So I did another most wanted list. I might do a top 5 3-pack most wanted. I'm kicking that one, but we still got a few other lists to get to. So we'll get to them all eventually. Then we're going to start some Jakks Classic Superstars unboxing. So a lot of Jakks Classic Superstars content every single Tuesday for over 2 years on the channel. We've had Jakks Classic Superstars content, so hopefully you guys are enjoying that. A lot more of that to come. We also took a look at the new Spawn Deluxe figure to a little bit mixed results. I'm an old school Spawn guy. This didn't really hit me where I wanted to be hit. Overkill, don't call him Overkill, and I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. I always thought he was known as Overkill, and he was originally. Had a viewer put it in the comments that he was originally known as Overkill. Years later, he got changed to Overkill, so that's the confusion there. He'll always be Overkill to me. That's what I remember him as. But we unboxed him on the channel to a little bit of mixed results. We unboxed the brand new Eternia Skeletor and He-Man. That Skeletor could be the best Masters of the Universe, Revelations, whatever you want to call it, style figure we have received so far. I really like that one. He-Man, a little bit of a mixed bag, but check those reviews out. Marvel Legends, of course, always unboxing Marvel Legends stuff on the channel. We did the 2 Captain America, Sam Wilson, Steve Rogers MCU 2-pack. We unboxed that on the channel this week. We also unboxed the Hasbro 20th Anniversary Legends Hulk. So a lot of unboxings going on like we do every single week here on the channel, of course. And then, of course, we had our weekly fig hunt. And for you Patreon members, you're getting a big dose of fig hunts. If you guys are into the fig hunts, I'm putting a lot of those up this weekend. Actually, my wife and I, on a whim, we went to an antique store and we did a one-off antique store figure hunt, I guess. So that will be up on the Patreon early. It'll be eventually on traditional YouTube. I don't know when I'll put that there. But then I had 2 figure hunts. We had our normal weekly figure hunt, and then I did a separate figure hunt with my Illinois trip of what I saw, where I went, what I did. It's more of a vlog mixed in with action figure hunting. Of course, I went to the Clutch concert. Clutch, one of my all-time favorite bands. Finally getting to see them again. I think that was, I'm trying to do the math, I think that might have been my 30th Clutch show in my life. I got to see them at the Rust Belt in Moline, Illinois. I put some clips of that in that video as well, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that video. Ate some pie, some pizza pie, if you will, from the Low Pies restaurant, which Seth Rollins' family kind of runs. I think it's his cousins that run that place, and Seth Rollins, of course, and Becky Lynch living in Davenport, the Quad Cities. I didn't see them at the Clutch show, though. I looked, didn't see them. But the Clutch show, like I said, I hadn't seen Clutch in like 2.5 years. It feels like an absolute eternity when you saw him, you know, 4 or 5 times a year some years, maybe even more. I think there's one year I saw him 8 times. So it was really cool to get back in the saddle. The opening band, The Sword, a favorite band of mine. I really like The Sword early stuff from like 2004 or so, but they still got some good ones from time to time. But man, it was a 1-2 punch that I really missed. Haven't been to as many shows as I used to be, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Hopefully there's some more shows and I get to see some more shows, get back to normalcy. We'll see if that happens. Hopefully it's happening for you. But really enjoyed the Clutch. It was a little crazy one. As it seems like wherever I go on my travels, there's always people dying, there's people getting hurt, and I'm just there. I'm in like in the 5th row and I'm headbanging away. And I'm a bigger guy. I mean, I'm 6'1", 220, let's call it, right? 220, 218, somewhere in there, depending what I've eaten. But 220. And all of a sudden I feel somebody like hit me in the back a little bit, and it shrugged off, didn't really do a lot to me. But then I looked to the side, it was some dude, like, he must have just been really drinking or really doing some drugs or who knows what. I mean, he looked like he'd seen some things in his life, we'll just put it at that. And this is right at the first song of The Sword, and I look over, he's down on the ground, everybody's like, what the heck's going on? He's just face first down. Security was on him immediately, and they roll him over, and this dude had the Crimson Mask going on. He took a straight face plant into the concrete, just a waterfall of blood going on. They kind of hunch him up so he's sitting there, and they're like, hey, come to. And he came to for a second, then passed back out, came to, passed back out. They didn't seem to know what to do with him. And then the whole time I'm watching this, he's just bloody. I'm watching his head grow. It was like a mutation of some kind. His head just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And he was like the size of a huge basketball or something like that. A watermelon. I mean, he was in bad shape. I don't know. The drugs, the fall, it was a hot mess. So that was a little weird. And they had to soak up all the blood over my feet and stuff. And crazy times at the Clutch show. Almost as crazy as the Jake the Snake Roberts show when a guy passed out as well. Stuff happens all the time apparently around me. I don't know, I'm a harbinger of death, a harbinger of terror, but they got the guy out. He was kind of comatose. I think he just had a bad trip, if you will, in more ways than one. But the Clutch show, game changer. If you've never seen Clutch, check them out. One of my favorite bands. Now that Motorhead's off the road, I'm all in on Clutch. And I was all in on Clutch before, but they are my favorite band to see live now that Motorhead is no more. But quite the tour, quite the fig hunt, quite the videos. Hopefully you'll check that one out. So there it is. A lot going on this week, a lot going on every single week. But as usual, Weekly Purchases, though, is brought to you by Zavvi. Zavvi, thank you for supporting the channel. Check them out. Use discount code Kyle Peterson to save 10%, and you can save 20% off clothing. So there you go. But Zavvi coming on hot, sponsoring Weekly Purchases. So there you go. Now let's get into it. Let's get into the news of the week. Mentioned it earlier, it was Thundercats week here on the channel. We unboxed a lot of Super 7 Ultimate Thundercats. Well, we're going to have more to unbox. As Series 6 was announced and then pulled back. They announced it, showed it on social media, as Super 7 is known to do, and then they yanked it back from us and said, hold the phone, hold the clock, stop the clock. We're not going to release these quite yet, and that's exactly what they did. So it was very strange, and we talked about this last week in Weekly Purchases, that they gave a little teaser pic of Mum-Ra looking very toy line-esque. As we know, the Thundercats we've been unboxing on the channel right now are based on the cartoons, which everybody loves. But they're going to make some very turtle style, if you're familiar with the Super 7 Ninja Turtles, that are based on the old toys. they're going to do the same thing with Thundercats. So they're going to make these based on the old toys. Now that's great for somebody like Kyle that really didn't have a whole lot. I had just like 3 Thundercats as a kid. You know, you gotta prioritize. You had your He-Man, you had your G.I. Joe, you had your wrestling. Thundercats, unfortunately, odd man out when Kyle doesn't have any money. But I'm very excited to get these, but it was interesting it got pulled back, so that means there's probably going to be some changes somewhere along the line. I had expect an official announcement next week, but we did see pictures, a little glamour shot action, renders, if you will, of Mum-Ra, Monkey-In, Lion-O, and Cheetara, so very cool, some heavy hitters. At first, I figured there was going to be a second Thundercats line. They were going to run 2 Thundercats lines at the same time, but it looks like they're going to, you know, just incorporate this. This is going to be Thundercats Series 6, which I'd rather have them run side by side because these aren't for everybody. Some people are going to say, nope, don't want this version, or maybe they just want this version. You know, it might be years in between lines, so there could be some confusion in the marketplace by doing it this way, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll wait for that official announcement, the new pictures, all that kind of stuff from Super 7, but I was pretty excited about that. I was pretty jazzed up. I always wanted, like, the Lion-O, for example. I never had it. I feel like I could get it now, and it looks really cool. They look like the old school toys I played with at my friend's house. I'm all in. So that's a little more to come on that, I would assume, next week in weekly purchases. The other big news event this week was WWE Elite Basics, you get the point, leaks. So Mattel leaks, and we're not a big leaks channel like other people, but I thought we'd discuss it because it's been, a lot of people have been asking, a lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people saw my basic unboxing last, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, on Omos. We unboxed him on the channel, the basic, and of course said in there, hopefully we get an Elite of him someday. Well, that day, of course, they talk about the Elite, but I said, hey guys, guess what? This has been on Patreon for like 2 weeks. This is an old video. But very cool to get old Moss in the Elite form. But let's break it down a little bit. We're going to get WWE Mattel Basics Series 135. This came from the WrestleFigs forum. It was a post. I believe it was a solicitation overseas. I believe it was Germany, something like that. So they're getting kind of a peek under the tent. But no pictures with this, just kind of some announcements. And let's run it down. Basics Series 135. We're getting Brock Lesnar. Got to think it's going to be Cowboy Brock Lesnar, I'm sure. We're getting Damian Priest. I think it's too early for the Edge era Damian Priest. So we're going to get more U.S. title run Damian Priest. We're getting Braun Breaker. That's a big one. First time in the line. Definitely picking that up. I think a lot of people will be picking that one up. We're also getting Nikki, almost a superhero. We're getting her in the line. That's a definite pickup. I'm not sure we're going to get that in Elite form. That would be very cool to have on the shelf. And the female basics, for the most part, they do a good job. For the most part. So I'm definitely picking that. And then we're getting Reggie, and that's going to be the Chase. I don't know what to think about that. I can't even imagine, but we'll see. I guess it'll be in kind of one of those weird suits with like shorts instead of like suit pants. I'll have suit shorts. I don't know how that one's going to look, but we're getting Reggie. We're getting 2 of them. I'm getting at least one of those. But the Nikki one, the Braun Breaker are the ones that pique my interest the most. You guys know I love masks and superheroes, and Braun Breaker's right up my alley. Old Steiner Brothers fan. Hopefully that means somewhere that there's Rick and Scott coming one day. Fingers crossed on that. We also saw Battle Pack Championship Series 11. Roman Reigns, John Cena. Got to think that's from the SummerSlam match. The Usos, maybe from SummerSlam as well. And then Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. I'm sure that is from the title match they had as well. Come back at SummerSlam. I would assume that. And then we saw Mattel Elite Series 96. Hulk Hogan has returned to the lineup. I've seen some people grumbling on that, but guess what? You got to put that old business hat on. Hulk Hogan sells. He moves units. That's what it's about. How can we make money? Well, Hulk Hogan brings money to Mattel. That's just the clear fact of the matter. So you got to have Hulk Hogan. We're getting Brock Lesnar. That's a guy that hasn't had an Elite forever. It'll be really cool. Once again, I'm guessing Cowboy Brock Lesnar will have the ponytail, the beard, maybe the flannel going on. I have to think it'll be somewhere around that. King Nakamura, that makes sense. You know, he had a decent run when he was the king. I think we'll get that one, is my guess. Hopefully it's a really good outfit, one of the colorful ones. That would be great. Where's Rick Boogs? Get me Boogs. We're getting Ilya Dragunov, an NXT UK wrestler. Of course, remember his match with Walter. Always cool to get a first time in the line, in the Elite line. I don't know how well that's going to sell, though, because I don't hear a lot of buzz about NXT UK. I don't hear a lot of people talking about that. We'll see how that one goes. But I'm in for it, but I don't know if the general public will be. But kudos to Mattel for putting that in. Kofi Kingston, that could really be anything at this point, and Kofi should sell pretty good. Obviously, New Day, very, very popular. And then we're getting Dewdrop as a chase, and I'll be very interested to see if we get a new body mold for Dewdrop, or if they try to reuse Nia Jax or something like that. It'll be very interesting. But we're getting her in a chase. Hopefully she comes with a soft goods jacket. She kind of wears that leather jacket to the ring. I think that would be really cool. So some first time in the line. That should be an exciting series, 96. And then 97, we're getting some females in 97. We're getting Alexa Bliss, Not sure what that'll be yet. Got to think it's more of her Fiend type persona, whatever you want to call it. Ronda Rousey, I'm sure they're just going to use one of the Ronda Rousey Elites, kind of a change of color and outfits, and that's all we'll probably get there. I'm not expecting them to really reinvent the wheel on that Ronda Rousey figure. We're getting Sheamus. I got to think it's kind of like the old mobster look Sheamus has got going on, whatever you want to call that. Kind of the hooligan look, maybe. But we'll get that one. Omos is there, so I'm very interested to see how they do his Elite. Well, how much it'll be different than the basic. Will we really have the articulation? I'm very interested to hear about this one and see this one. And my hope is this is somewhat of a universal giant mold, that we could get a Giant Gonzalez, an Elegante, maybe a Great Khali. They can reuse that body a little bit here and there. So that'll be really telling. And then, of course, Chainsaw Charlie. Man, sign me up all day long. I don't know how many I need of those, but you guys know I love Terry Funk. The more Terry Funk figures, the better. Even if it is Chainsaw Charlie, I'm taking that one all day. So I'm going to need multiples of that. And then we got Xavier Woods with the Chase in that one. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I don't know if we're building a New Day set with Kofi in 96 and Xavier Woods in 97. That could be the plan, and then 98 might have Big E. Would not be shocked at that. So we got some WWE leaks going on. Stay tuned for those. I'm sure you'll be able to pre-order those in all your favorite places sooner than later. So there it is there. We also saw Zombie Sailor. A week doesn't go by without some Zombie Sailor talk. We should be about a month, 6 weeks away from Series 1. But he did show some pictures of Bruiser Brody from Series 2, all scarred up on his head. Showed the chain, said, hey, the chain will be bigger, but very cool. Bruiser Brody, a favorite of mine. I'm all in on that one. I'll be picking that one up for sure. And then we saw a company I've never heard of before, Ringmasters. Brand new to me, but they are coming out with the French Angel, Maurice Tillet. Now, a lot of people don't know who the French Angel is, and I wouldn't know who he is, I don't think either, if I didn't go to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, as they do have a copy of his death mask. I think there was only 2 of those masks ever made. Bruce Pritchard owns one of them. The other one is in that Hall of Fame. I mean, the head on him is like this big. It's amazing how big this guy's head was. Kind of an Andre the Giant type personality, kind of an attraction that roamed around one-on-one because, you know, crazy, huge head. People love big-headed creatures, and that's what he was. But I don't know how well that'll sell. I mean, I'm all for that. That's cool because I have a history watching that, seeing that death mask every year, and it's always a cool thing. So somebody like me likes that, but boy, I am far from the average Joe as far as this one goes. I don't see a lot of people picking this up. Price point is going to be $40-50. I don't know how that's going to go, but more to come. Never heard of this company. Just kind of a lot of questions with this one, and I guess we'll have to stay tuned for our answers. We also saw Pro Wrestling Tees this week coming through with their daily drops like they did Macho Man a ways back. They're doing Ric Flair, a new Ric Flair micro brawler every single day this week. I'm all in. I bought all of them. I'm a big Ric Flair guy, so I said I'm not a huge micro brawler guy, but I'm going to get all these. That's a pretty cool idea for me. I didn't get all the Machos, but I'm getting all the Ric Flairs. We also saw Super 7 once again coming in hot. Another Andre the Giant announcement. We still haven't got that third Andre yet. That'll be 6 months from now. We'll probably get that. Well, there's another one, and they showed a picture of him from behind. We see the black strap. It's time for black strap Andre in the Super 7 line. And I'm wondering, because Mattel had rumored Andre for one of the Legends line. It seemed that got scrapped. I wonder if Mattel doesn't have access to Andre anymore. Super 7 obviously does, because they got another one coming. I don't know. This could be just straight up repaint. You get the singlet, which I think can be going up and down. It looks like, at least from the picture. But I'm not expecting them to really reinvent the wheel here. But I'm hoping. Usually they do the teaser. About a week later, we get the full view. So hopefully we can talk about that in weekly purchases next week. And then the final bit of news this week. It seems that McFarlane made right on his promise. He told us this was coming. Some people might have missed it, but he said it was coming, and it was a munitions pack. So it's just a pack full of weapons for his McFarlane toys. It doesn't say DC. It says it's for Spawn. But we all know, wink, wink, Todd McFarlane being very, very smart here, working around the system, you can use these weapons for your DC McFarlane figures. We got Peacemaker with no gun. What's that about? Well, now you can get weapons for him in this munitions pack. You order it on Spawn.com, McFarlane.com, one of those things. And I did pick that one up because I'll be able to use those weapons with some of my McFarlane guys, things like that. Just cool to get a weapons pack. And you'll be able to use them with future figures that come out in the future. there it is. So very interesting news week, not a ton of news, kind of a doldrums, and we got a little bit of a doldrums in the weekly purchases. Could be the smallest weekly purchases of all time, be very interesting, but we'll get to that. But first off, we got to get to album of the week, and I listened to a lot of albums this week. I listened to a band called Motor Sister, if you're familiar with them, Scott Ian's kind of side project with his wife, and I forget the singer's name, but this is their second album. I met them back in the day, my wife and I did on the old Motorhead cruise, but very cool. Not an album I'm going to listen to 100 times, but I listened to it twice. That was pretty good. But the album I really enjoyed this week was Paid in Full by the band Skull Fist. I don't know if you guys know who Skull Fist is. Another new wave of traditional heavy metal band out there. I've seen them in concert many a times, and I missed their new album. It came out about a month ago. I'm just so behind on things, but really enjoyed it. Classic new wave of traditional heavy metal album. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you're into the Night Demons of the world, things like that, you're going to enjoy Skull Fist. Definitely check that one out. Nice to hear some new and more up and coming bands, if that's what you want to call it. So that was fun. Graham Bonnet Band has a new album dropping on Friday, May 13th. I got to check that one out. Hopefully that might be my album of the week next week because I love Graham Bonnet. So I'm excited about that. There's a lot of stuff I need to get to that I haven't listened to yet. It's just trying to find the time. But this week, I'm going Skull Fist as the album of the week. So without any further ado, though, let's get down to it. Let's get down to the old weekly purchases. All right, let's get down to it. Let's get down to the weekly purchases. An interesting week out there on the hunt, as you saw in the action figure hunt videos. Not a lot going on right now. Not a lot of new stuff. Next week, there should be a decent amount of new things, but not a whole lot going on this week. Hunting the Targets and Walmarts on the road, just a lot of clearance stuff that I don't even need. A lot of Cape Season, a lot of Rio, and unfortunately, a lot of Nyla Rose going on. Rio's starting to disappear. Nyla Rose is taking over, so I don't know what to make of that quite yet. I guess we'll see what happens in the weeks to come. But I did get a few things this week, and like I said, stuff you saw in the fig hunt, and a few things from the mail, so let's check it out. Let's get into it. It's going to be a light weekly purchases. But first thing, if you guys were watching my social media, the YouTube community page, or on Twitter, I did post this. Amazon had a daily deal going on, and it was the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Kung Lao. Now, playing the long game on this, as this went up for sale, I don't know, let's call it almost a year ago. It was a little over $100, like $109, and I said, I pre-ordered it, and then I canceled my pre-order. I said, I just don't know if I want to spend $109. Well, played a little of that long game that I didn't know I was playing, and Amazon had a daily deal. This was $60-some, so I did post that link. If you were looking for it, hopefully you picked that one up. But I got Kung Lao to unbox. We'll see how that goes. I really do like the Storm collectible figures. I really do enjoy those. I wish they would do more wrestling figures. I hope we get the Legion of Doom one day, the Ultimate Warrior. The sky is the limit what they could do with some more wrestling figures. We'll see if that ever ends up happening. You saw this on my hunt. I found this at Target. I was very, very excited. Super 7 reaction figures. I was all in. I was all out. It was so hard to say goodbye, but I had to do it. Especially seeing these army builders, like 9 different versions of a sailor or a grunt and things like that. I just don't have the real estate. I just don't have the patience for something like that, so I had to bow out, and the price point did not help. Made the choice very easy. But something like my boy Flint, I can't pass him up. I'm going to open Flint up, and then I'm going to find a minty one that I'm going to keep mint on card as well. So I'm on the hunt for the minty one. I don't know if this is worth unboxing on the channel, and it's funny is I don't think I've ever unboxed a reaction figure. I don't think I've ever done it, so this could be the first time. So I don't know. Do I waste a video? Do we do this on video? Do we do it as a Patreon exclusive? I don't know what we do, but Flint through the door. Very excited to get my favorite G.I. Joe of all time. So there's that one. Then you guys saw me on the hunt, and I found this at Target. Playing the long game on this, and it finally pays off for less than $6. I got Batman in the Surfer shorts from the Batman 66 McFarlane Toys line. Also got Joker last week. Now I got this one. I'm just going to play a little of that long game on the boxing Riddler and boxing Batman. Hopefully I'll have similar circumstances down the line. Playing that old long game, as I always say. And then I found this one, and I couldn't pass it up. I wasn't really sure why, but $6.59 for Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. I wish I would have bought my second one at this price instead of full price, but you live and learn, or you don't learn at all. But I picked up another one of these, and I said, there's enough stuff here for $6.59 that I could make a custom somebody. I don't know what yet, but you pop this head off, and then you got just basically a plain basic body you could go a lot of directions with. It'd be great to get an old school Terry Funk head and put on here, and hey, you got an old school Terry Funk just like that. The soft goods you could maybe use in something else. And then the boxing gloves is really cool because they're interchangeable like hands. I don't think it hurts to have an extra set of those just in case. You never know what you might use those for. So Cowboy Bob Orton, had to pick that up for $6.59. $159. I just could not pass it up, so I picked him up this week. And then here's a sad case, and this probably happened to you guys many a times. It's been a long time for me. I was looking on eBay, as I always do, and you guys remember the great Jack's Ruthless Aggression hunt, where I was on a mission to find every single figure from the Jack's Ruthless Aggression days, which we finally did. One of the hardest figures to ever find in the Jack's Ruthless Aggression, and I'm saying it right now, I think this is the rarest mainline, whatever you want to call it, the rarest Jack's Ruthless Aggression style figure that you could buy in stores at one time. How about that? This is the rarest one, and most people don't know this. Most people obviously and honestly don't care at all. And this is one that never comes up, very rarely. I've seen it on eBay twice in maybe like the last 3 years, something like that. And I saw this, and I said, I have to pick this up. I ended up buying it for $4. So that's one of those things. Rarity doesn't always equal lots of money, unfortunately. But I said, you know what? This is one of the rarest ones. I hunted this for so long. Now there's a mint on card one. I'm going to pick this up. So I got it for $4 with like $12 shipping, something like that. Didn't need it, but I just said, I never see this. I better buy it. And that's what I did. And that was Off the Ropes JBL. So this was a Rite Aid exclusive back in the day. This is the only suited JBL announcer figure ever. So I had to pick this up. I just couldn't let this go by. Unfortunately, I got this shipped to me. The package was damaged. They didn't use enough tape on the flaps, so it was wide open. I can't even believe it made it here. And unfortunately, falling off the card. Totally falling off the card. So I said, hey, I got this to be mint on card. This is not mint on card. You didn't even package it correctly. And the guy ended up refunding me and just told me to keep this. So I'm keeping the JBL, I guess. Maybe we'll unbox this on the channel. There's enough meat to talk about on this one day. It'll be one of those long games. This is one of those videos you'll see on Patreon for about 2 months before it goes on traditional YouTube. But I'll probably do that eventually. But really disappointing. I wanted that mint on card. I was just going to tuck it away, just knowing how rare that figure is. But it is what it is. It is what it is. How about a little Star Wars talk? Okay, Star Wars, we had a deal. We had some deals going on GameStop. I always say check GameStop about every day. They have a daily deal. They have crazy deals every once in a while. That's what I did, and I got some Star Wars Black Series figures at a cheaper cost, and then I had some reward points, my monthly points, all this stuff. Anyways, got to get a deal. That's exactly what I did. And I got the Star Wars Battlefront 2 Jet Trooper. So I got him for under 20 bucks, I believe it was. So I got him. Got another brand new one, another gaming one. RC-1138 Boss, another trooper. It's all about those troopers. And there's another one right there, gaming brates. Then we got the Imperial Rocket Trooper. None of these really set your world on fire, but the troopers always look good displayed together, and that's what I'm going to do. Probably unbox all 3 of these in the same video one of these days. But the Imperial Rocket Trooper is there. Got him cheap. And then you guys saw it if you watched my fig hunt. Just got lucky. I've only hit like maybe 4 or 5 Walgreens so far. Just happened to go to the one right by my house. So unfortunately, grabbed some Squishmallows that set me back about $25. And then this set me back $25. The Clone Trooper 212 Battalion. That being said, got to get a deal, and I remembered as I was going to my wallet to get my card out, I saw I had a Walgreens coupon, and it expired that day, and if you spent $40, you got $9 back on your next purchase or whatever. So, got to get a deal. At least I feel like I got $9 off in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure my wife will buy some makeup or something with that $9, but at least I got something back. But I got this done. I was happy to have this over with without a crazy search, because that's the way those Walgreens ones go. We know with Marvel Legends and Star Wars, sometimes it's crazy hunting. Sometimes you get it right off the bat, and I got this right off the bat. Not opposed to picking up one more of these. If I come across another one, I'll pick it up. If not, I'll just live with it. I'll live with it. So there you go. And we talked about this at the top of the show. Overkill. We got the Spawn figure. Don't call him Overkill. Call him Overkill, but call him Overkill. How about that? I like Overkill better. And I'm not super sold on this. Compared to Violator and even Cygor, it's number 3. And it's not even really close to Cygor. And I got issues with Cygor and his monkey diaper. But this one's just missing something. I don't know if it's just missing a little bit of a gimmick, a weapon. I don't know, but I wasn't over the moon with this. I would recommend getting this on deal. Wait for it. It'll go on sale at GameStop, places like that eventually, like we always see. But Overkill through the door this week. And then we got one last one. I got to give a shout out to Jeremy Conrad. He watches the figure hunting videos. He sees me eyeing the prices on this. I've never pulled the trigger. I said I will not pay this price for it. He reached out and said he was at his Walmart, and one of his Walmarts was closing. That seems weird. You don't see Walmarts close very often. Very rare. and it was on clearance for $7. He said, "Are you interested in this for $7?" And I said, "Sign me up. I'll do it for $7." And that's exactly what I did. It's a Funko Pop. It's all Larry Bird, very fitting for the Larry Bird of action figure collecting, as, you know, my old buddy deemed me that, as you guys all remember.
Kyle Peterson, who is known in some circles as the Larry Bird of sports entertainment figurine collecting. Well, this is John Cena, a.k.a. John Cena, who is known in some circles as the John Stockton of fashion. The shorts get shorter all the time. I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, John. That's the video that keeps on giving. But yeah, I am truly the Larry Bird of action figure collecting. I am just ascending to new heights every single day. I guess adding to the collection. You had to have old Larry Bird added to this collection. I would love it if they get a Celtics version of this instead of the Dream Team. But you take what you can get at this point. For $7, I could not pass this deal up. So Jeremy, thank you for sending this my way. Absolutely love to have Larry Bird in the house. So there you go. Oh, one more, almost done. Via That Backdrop Guy on Instagram. You guys know That Backdrop Guy if you've ever checked out my display tours and stuff, and some of the stuff I use graphics for my displays. Well, I got a little road action made up for my Turtles display. I'm not going to fold the whole thing out. You'll see it in that action figure display tour coming sometime, hopefully in June. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of reasons for the delay, but it is what it is. We'll get it eventually. We'll have the yearly collection tour. But That Backdrop Guy helped me out with that, so check him out on Instagram if you're looking for backgrounds and stuff for your detolfs, your shelves. He can do whatever. Just tell him Kyle sent you. He'll know what you're talking about. But there it is. That is a small week of weekly purchases. Like I said, nothing going on out there. But next week, I got a lot of stuff coming in the mail. We'll see if there's anything in the stores. I'm not going to hold my breath in the stores right now. But you never know. There should be some things. Maybe a new Marvel Legends X-Men wave could be on the horizon. G.I. Joe Classified's got to be hitting any time now. We should have Elite Top Picks in the door next week. Unrivaled 9 should be just around the corner, and a few other things as we get closer to summertime. So there it is. A lot going on, but just not a lot of purchases this week. So there it is. But what did you find this week? What did you pick up this week? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, you made it this far. It supports the channel. Why wouldn't you want to give it the old thumbs up? Turn on the old notification bell. You don't want to miss a video. Like I said, I post hot deals in the YouTube community page, that Kung Lao daily thing. Hit the notification bell on my videos because then it'll pop up that, hey, notification, this is up. Maybe it's not for you, but maybe it will be. Maybe you can save some money. Always recommend doing that, so hit the old notification bell. Follow along on Patreon. I know I was plugging it earlier, but you can get this video and a lot of other videos much, much earlier on Patreon. We got giveaways on there. We got exclusive content, a lot going on Patreon. And, of course, you support the channel as well. And then you can follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. So I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into the weekend. I'll see you guys all real soon.